What the f happened to Neymar? From the streets of Brazil to the bright lights of Barcelona and beyond, Neymar has had quite the journey. Neymar is one of the most talented players of this football generation. As a kid, I absolutely fell in love with his game. Speaking of his game, he had everything. Flashy skills, electric pace, five-star dribbling. He cheated on his pregnant wife. All this made everyone think that Neymar was bound to be a future Ballon d'Or winner, the heir to Messi at Barcelona, and the one to lead Brazil back to their World Cup glory days. However, at the age of 31, he cut his European career short, and now has gone to the Saudi Arabia League, joining Al Hilal, to the disappointment of many of his lifelong fans. So how did Neymar, one of the greatest wonder kids to ever play football, fail to live up to his high expectations? Well, let's take a look at the rise and fall of Neymar Jr. Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. was born right outside the big city of Sao Paulo, Brazil, on February 5, 1992. A birthday iconic in football, with him sharing the day with the likes of Carlos Tevez, George Hagi, and of course the greatest Brazilian player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Neymar was born into a football family, with his father Neymar Sr. being a former footballer and now his advisor in his son's career. However, Neymar Sr.'s football career came to an end when he received serious injuries from a car crash when Neymar Jr. was just 4 months old. At the same time, this crash could have been the end of Neymar Jr. as well, because within the first couple of minutes after the crash, baby Neymar was nowhere to be found. However, as Neymar Sr. describes it, with God looking down on them, Neymar was found under the car seat with just his forehead bleeding. Who knew after this serious incident that Neymar Jr. was set to bring many blessings and fortune to his family's lives? Neymar Jr. still had a difficult upbringing. Even with Neymar's dad working as a mechanic, salesperson, and driver after his football career, his family still sometimes struggled to put food on the table, with Neymar often asking for cookies and his mom replying that they couldn't afford them. Additionally, sometimes they had to go without electricity because they couldn't afford to pay the bill. Regardless of these hard circumstances, one thing was for sure. Neymar was obsessed with football. His first toy was a football, and he continuously played with it throughout the entire house, pissing off his mom in the process. He loved the sport so much that he used to play football with kids quite older than him on the streets of Brazil, and even played a ton of futsal, which is probably why Neymar is so good with the ball at his feet. One time, while destroying opponents in futsal, a Santos scout was watching him and wanted Neymar to play for the Brazilian club, and he and his parents agreed to this move. While playing for the youth academy of Santos, Neymar was balling out so much so that when he was 14 years old, Real Madrid took notice of him and even invited Neymar and his dad to come to Spain and try out with the Real Madrid youth team. This was a peak era for Real Madrid when they had the Brazilian Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham, Roberto Carlos, and even one of Neymar's idols, Robinho. With this peak Galactico era for Real Madrid, they wanted to add someone fresh and new, which is why Real Madrid accepted Neymar to the club and wanted him to sign with their youth team. However, Neymar, at the young age of 14, was feeling homesick for Brazil and wanted to go home. He didn't want to leave his family just yet, and understandably so. That's when Neymar's father, Neymar Sr., asked Santos to put a similar offer to what Real Madrid made on the table, and he would guarantee Neymar's signature. And that's exactly what Santos did. And as we all know, the young Neymar accepted Santos's proposal and joined the Brazilian club for good. Jumping a few years to when Neymar was 17, he was so good for the Santos youth teams that he was given his professional debut in March 2009. It wasn't just a one-and-done debut, though. He was consistently picked for the senior team of Santos and became a mainstay with them. In his debut season, Neymar racked up a total of 14 goals in the 48 games he played. That's not all, though, because in 2010, Neymar continued to go crazy for Santos in the Campeonato Paulista, a Brazilian cup. Neymar scored another 14 goals in 19 games for Santos, helping Santos get crowned champions of the tournament after a 5-5 aggregate win over Santo André in the finals. Subsequently, Neymar was given the award for the best player of the competition, and deservedly so. Neymar was making waves in Brazil for Santos, and he wasn't going to stop anytime soon. He wasn't just a local talent, though. He quickly became the most exciting talent in football, full stop. There were a ton of European clubs interested in signing him, with primarily clubs such as West Ham and Chelsea putting in bids for the young Brazilian prodigy. However, Santos rejected these bids, even though Neymar was pretty tempted with the Chelsea offer. But at the time, he felt like staying at Santos was the best option for him. Also, reportedly, Pelé called Neymar up to tell him to stay at Santos, so there's that. Anyways, overall in the season, Neymar finished it with 42 goals in 60 games, an insane stat line for an 18-year-old kid. Additionally, there were Brazilian fans all over the country pleading with the national team to take Neymar to the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. However, the Brazilian coach at the time wasn't as moved by Neymar as the fans were and decided to leave him out of the squad. What a shame. Moving on from that, Neymar continued to grow into international stardom in football year after year with Santos, and quite frequently showed up on the big stage. That's because, in the Copa Libertadores in 2011, basically the Champions League of South America, Neymar scored 6 goals in the run to the finals, where he had to face the Uruguayan side Peñarol. In the final match, Neymar scored the opening goal as Santos went on to win the game 2-1, helping Santos finally win the Copa Libertadores since Pelé, and he was recognized for that, with him being given the man of the match of the final. With this Copa Libertadores win, Santos booked their ticket to the Club World Cup, which would be an excellent place for Neymar to truly show the world his talent. And that's exactly what he did with him, scoring the opening goal for Santos as they beat Kashiwa Reysol 3-1 in the semi-finals. Then, even though Santos got absolutely battered 4-0 by Barcelona in the final, Neymar balled out in that game, showing the world and Barcelona his capabilities. Overall, after that 2011 season, Neymar won the 2011 FIFA Puskás Award for a solo goal against Flamengo. He also won the 2011 South American Footballer of the Year award for the first time. Moving on to the year of 2012, Neymar easily became the most talked about player in the world, after Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Obviously, Neymar basically had his best ever season so far in his young career, scoring 43 goals and 10 assists in 47 matches, meaning he had more goal contributions than games played as a 20-year-old. Additionally, Neymar finished the 2012 Campeonato Paulista with 20 goals and was voted the best player and best forward as Santos were crowned champions. Also in the Copa Libertadores, although Santos were beaten in the semi-finals by Corinthians, he finished as the competition's joint top goal scorer with 8 goals. He also was selected for the Puskás Award again, but didn't win it this time. He just ended up being one of the finalists and also won the 2012 South American Footballer of the Year award, retaining it from his previous season. He repeated much more of the same in the 2013 season, getting a ton of awards and balling out for Santos as per usual. However, this would be the last season for Neymar with the Brazilian club, with Neymar being fought over by many European clubs, with the interest in signing him being at an all-time high. However, first Neymar was focused on his country Brazil, since he was selected to be a part of the 2013 Confederations Cup in his home country. There were a ton of expectations on the young Neymar, with him being given the number 10 shirt, and also him expected to lead the 5-time World Cup champions at the tournament. And Neymar lived up to those expectations, with him getting a total of 4 goals and 2 assists in the 5 games at the tournament. And of course, with one of the goals being in the final against the dominant Spain, in which Brazil destroyed the European giants 3-0, ending Spain's 29-game undefeated streak. With these great performances, Neymar rightfully won the Golden Ball for the tournament, showing the international world once again that he was ready for Europe. And ready he was, because in the summer of 2013, Neymar agreed to a move to FC Barcelona for a transfer fee of 57.1 million euros. Neymar was then presented at the Camp Nou in front of 56,000 plus people, showing how excited Barca fans were for him, and they had a right to be excited. duo of Messi and Neymar that seemed unstoppable. And it kind of was as well. Neymar did pretty well for his first season in Europe, with him bagging 15 goals and 15 assists in 41 games, with 3 of those goals being in the Champions League when he got a hat-trick against Celtic in the group stage. However, with that being said, Barcelona finished second in La Liga behind Atletico Madrid and also lost to them in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Therefore, Neymar's first season didn't come with any titles, but that was all about to change. Because Neymar, in his second season at the club, came back with a vengeance, and Barcelona signed Luis Suarez from Liverpool, which meant that the MSN trio was born. Messi, Suarez, and Neymar were about to tear up all of football. In Neymar's second season, Barcelona went on to win the treble, with Neymar scoring a career high of 39 goals in all competitions, and being the top scorer in the Copa del Rey, with him getting 7 goals in that competition. Neymar even got the final goal in the Champions League final against Juventus in their 3-1 victory, helping the Catalan club win their 5th Champions League. Neymar also tied with Messi and Ronaldo for the top scorer in the Champions League, with them all getting 10 goals. Neymar was on top of the world. He was living up to the expectations and was on his way to being the best player in the world. Then, in the 2015-16 season, Neymar carried over the momentum from his prior season and went on to bag 31 goals and 25 assists in all competitions for the Catalan club, helping them retain the La Liga title and the Copa del Rey title. And then, in the next season, the 2016-17 season, Neymar racked up 20 goals and 26 assists. And although Neymar became the headline of one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history when PSG beat Barcelona 4-0 in the first leg of their round of 16 clash, and everyone thought Barcelona were done for. However, in the second leg, Neymar had different ideas. Neymar completely took over the rest of the game, scoring a spectacular free kick and also converting a penalty. Then, in the last minute, Neymar provided the assist to Sergi Roberto for the game-winning goal that completed the comeback and sent PSG home with a 6-1 win for Barcelona. This game probably gave Neymar the idea that he could be the star of a club, because although Messi got his goal in the game, Neymar was the one who shined, and Neymar was kind of getting tired of being in Messi's shadow. He wanted to be the main man. That's why Neymar would move on from Barcelona in the summer of 2017 to PSG, with the French club paying a world record fee of 222 million euros. With Neymar saying this after his departure from Barcelona, "I'm really sad to leave Barcelona, but at the same time I'm happy to join PSG and start this new challenge." He added that, "From today, I will do everything I can to help my new teammates, to open up new horizons for my club, and to bring happiness to its millions of supporters around the world." With Neymar now in PSG, it seemed like a good move for him at the time, with him getting the number 10 jersey and finally becoming the main man of a club. Neymar started off his time in Paris excellently, with him scoring 19 goals and 13 assists in just his first 20 games, with PSG cruising in the league as well as in the Champions League. However, that's when it all started to go wrong for Neymar, because he suffered a broken metatarsal injury in February of that season, which ruled him out for the rest of the season. This affected PSG big time because, although they went on to win League One, they missed Neymar in the Champions League and got knocked out by Real Madrid in the round of 16. Even though they had a dominant team, they missed their key man in Neymar. In the following season, Neymar came back and still performed extremely well for the French side, with him getting 23 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. However, another injury happened in January of 2019, with him suffering the same injury, which ruled him out of football for the next couple of months. Again, PSG missed Neymar badly in the Champions League and got knocked out by Manchester United in the round of 16. Neymar had more bad news that season too, with PSG losing in the Coupe de France final to Rennes on penalties, and Neymar missing out on the penalty shootout with an injury. With that being said, PSG still won League One, but Neymar was unable to finish the season strongly once again because of the same injury that kept on reoccurring. Additionally, during the summer of that year, Neymar went to go play for Brazil in the Copa America tournament. However, while playing a friendly with Brazil, Neymar suffered an ankle injury and had to sit out the tournament. That probably made him feel awful, especially when Brazil went on to win the whole tournament without him. I can imagine Neymar felt like he missed out big time there. However, he tried to come back stronger in the 2019-20 season. But that still wasn't the case, because although Neymar racked up 19 goals and 12 assists in just 27 games for PSG, he still suffered from the same injury to his ribs in February, ruling him out for a couple of months. However, Neymar came back in the knockout stages of the Champions League and helped PSG reach their first ever Champions League final by getting 3 goals and 4 assists in that tournament. However, PSG was beaten 1-0 by Bayern Munich in the final, with Neymar not playing his best game. Then, in the 2020-21 season, Neymar was injured once again in December, with him sitting out for another month. Additionally, later in February, Neymar suffered from an adductor injury, which ruled him out for another 2 months, meaning he missed the first leg against Barcelona in the round of 16 clash. However, that didn't matter as PSG beat Barcelona 4-1, with Kylian Mbappe getting a hat-trick, kind of becoming the main man in that game. Neymar eventually came back and helped PSG reach the semi-finals of the Champions League, but got knocked out by Manchester City. At the end of the season, PSG failed to win Ligue 1 and also lost to Lille in the final of the Coupe de France. Additionally, for Neymar, he only racked up 17 goals and 11 assists that season, a pretty poor season by his standards. In the 2021-22 season, Neymar once again suffered from an ankle injury that ruled him out for 3 months and didn't return to the club until February of 2022. In the end, Neymar finished the season with just 13 goals and 8 assists, as PSG went on to win the Ligue 1 title once again. But as for Neymar, his impact for PSG was getting smaller year after year. Finally, in his last season at PSG, the 2022-23 season, Neymar didn't suffer a major injury until February, when he injured his ankle once again. However, in that same season, Neymar was quite exceptional with 18 goals and 17 assists. But even with this resurgence, Neymar decided that his time in Paris was up. It was probably the lack of winning the Champions League that did it for him. So Neymar packed up his bags and left PSG for the Saudi League, going to Al Hilal for 80 million euros. Neymar had an exciting career at PSG at times, but he couldn't get rid of those nagging injuries that have plagued him throughout his career. However, although he didn't have the best time at PSG, Neymar always showed up for his national team of Brazil. After missing the Copa America title win in 2019, Neymar helped Brazil reach the final of the 2021 Copa America, but fell short to Argentina 1-0. That tournament was special though because Lionel Messi and Neymar were the 2 best players of that tournament and ended up embracing each other at the end of the final game in a beautiful moment. Additionally, at the 2022 World Cup, Neymar tried his best to lead Brazil to the title, getting 2 goals in the quarterfinals, with one being an excellent goal. However, Neymar's efforts fell short, with Brazil losing to Croatia in penalties. Regardless of the losses in these tournaments, Neymar became the top goal scorer for Brazil in this past year, and was always excellent when playing for his home country. Neymar always said, "I'm very proud. Never imagined reaching this record about being the top goal scorer for Brazil. I want to say that I never played football thinking about breaking records, rather to give my best for the national team." To conclude, Neymar was one of the best wonder kids in football, as he showed throughout his career with moments of excellence in the 2015-16 season, with Santos, and even with PSG. However, his persistent injuries and sometimes lack of discipline made Neymar fall short of his expectations to be one of the best players in football history. However, there were some great moments in Neymar's career as well. As I mentioned before, Neymar was one of my favorite players to watch growing up, with his flair and play style being unmatched. I believe that a lot of people felt the same way as I did about Neymar, and they will forever appreciate what he has done for the game of football.